Time to load up. Let's roll. Now it's go time.
But my goals are to harvest old mature animals, okay? Yeah. It doesn't always happen, but that's what we strive for.
Westbound. Westbound. Woo! Got everything we need for the next 2.5 days, and we're headed west. We've got a short drive to our destination, and we're pretty excited to see what we find out there. Some giants around here.
At the very, very top of the highest. See them? There's something up there.
Down.
No, they're standing. What are those?
Oh, yeah.
Glass them up.
Those have to be. Yeah,
Glass them up. Stop right there. Back up. Back up. Back up.
What was it? 5 deer.
Any bucks?
2.
Need nice ones?
Not shooters, a good 2 or maybe 3-year-olds. I mean, nice younger bucks.
Yeah.
Nothing too big.
That's a good sign.
Out in the middle of the day, it's 1:40. Can't hunt here, it's leased. I already tried. I bet I called almost every landowner that owns a decent chunk of ground in both of the counties that we're in, and thankfully we got the 2 spots, but I called a lot of people to get permission on this property that we have.
For those antelope.
24 antelope. A doe and 2 fawns. Whitetails out there in the field in the middle of the day. Well, we made it. Looks pretty good. Saw quite a few deer coming in here. So we're gonna take a walk and see if we see any fresh tracks in the snow. Got a couple fields on the property and they all look fairly decent, so it'll be interesting to see what we find. Got this row of trees right up next to this field, so we're gonna get our wind right, slip around the back side and just work the sunny side back towards the field and look for tracks, look for sign. South edge. See what sign we see. Porcupine. The stalk is on. Cut his track on the fence line over there. Didn't know what it was at first, but Josh looked up and saw him walking into the trees, so gave him the old spot and stalk. We got real close. Let's go find some deer. Looks like this field's just rye or something. There's not much out here. No tracks or anything, so I think we're gonna head back toward the truck and find another spot. There's about an hour left of daylight, hour and a half maybe. Maybe we'll pick up some deer on another field.
$16.
16. Any bucks?
Can't tell yet.
A lot of whitetails out here. Yeah, he's a pretty good looking young buck. Well, we saw a lot of whitetail this evening. One decent young buck, but nothing that I'm looking to shoot. So we're gonna go knock on a couple doors, see if we can get permission on some hill ground and maybe find some mule deer for tomorrow. Gonna set up the tent. We're on public ground now and do a little redneck camping tonight. Just trying to stay warm tonight.
Having some cheddar brats from one of the deer I shot this past fall. Got some sweet corn and some cut beans, cooking it right out of the can. Morning.
It's a brisk morning out. What's for breakfast?
Man, breakfast for choice is some good old SpaghettiOs. You just can't beat them.
Well, it's the first morning here. Pretty brisk out. A lot of frost on the ground. It's going to be a crunchy snow. But it's supposed to warm up today, so that snow might melt a little bit and be a little bit softer for us to walk on and hopefully put a stalk on. We're gonna hike about 1.25 miles to a high hill back in the backside of this property and see what we can see from there. Beautiful sunrise so far this morning though.
Hot?
Yeah.
We're gonna freeze up there.
Can see a long ways. We've been glassing for about almost 2 hours this morning, seen 17 deer, 6 of them on the public, but no bucks. So we're gonna hike back to the truck and make a new game plan. We just packed up camp and we're headed to a private landowner's house right now. Gonna see if he's around, talk to him, see if we can get permission, and if so, we'll hunt that. If not, we're gonna hit up a different public piece.
Well, we didn't have any luck getting permission. Landowner was not home, so made our way to some public ground here and drove quite a ways back in here. And before we hop on over and walk about a half mile to stop on a hill in Glass, we're gonna have some of Micah's homemade chili.
Deer at this spot. We're gonna hike about 1.5 miles to a tall hill we see over to the north and see what we see over there. Take a practice shot. Smoke. Hillside. Josh spotted a rabbit feeding ground right here. Look at this. Oh man. It's fresh. We're on the trail. We walked about 2 miles from the truck. Saw a doe and a fawn right away, but nothing else since, so we're gonna make a loop back to the truck and then head to a new spot. Nope. Still nothing. Nothing here.
Looks like somebody's home.
Yeah. Well, first guy we tried to get permission at wasn't home, so we tried for round 2, and the landowner said it's okay, but he wants us to check with his daughter who leases the ground to know for sure, so we're gonna head over to her place and see if we can get permission. Well, we got the escort. We did not get the permission. And about got eaten by a dog, so no luck. We're gonna make a game plan for tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're gonna do. We might just sit down by the river and see if we can see any whitetails go to bed, but that's kind of our only option at this point. Well, we just talked to the landowner we do have permission on and asked him how he gets access to his other pasture across the river. He said he uses the neighbor's bridge, so we just called the neighbor and got permission to use their bridge to cross the river and head up to the pasture we have permission on. So we're gonna head over there right now, set up camp, and glass the hills tomorrow. Should be exciting.
Home sweet home.
Voila! Cheddar brats. Corn.
We're going with the Hush Ignite, the Mountain Ops Ignite rather, and the Hush Lemonade for the morning. I've heard it's a big buck killer combination, so that's what we're gonna do. See what happens.
Almost forgot the best part, the fruit cup. Well, our grill ran out of propane. That's not good. But I've got some other pots in here. Got the jet boil in the vortex bag. We're gonna make it work. Well, We ran out of propane, so we're moving to something a little bit more high-tech. Green beans. You got a fuel? That's what you do when you run out of propane. Right?
It works. Good thing we brought backups.
Brats are done. Oh yeah.
Good stuff.
It's delicious.
Morning.
Morning.
Ready to go.
Yeah, that water's not even frozen.
Nope. Found some antelope.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many?
I can only see 4 or 5, but the rest might be behind the trees. I like this spot.
I think it's just as good looking east too.
Oh yeah, or better. I think there's 3 deer down there, but I'll have to pull out the spotters.
3 deer.
3 deer.
Any bucks?
Can't tell. They're a long ways away.
What side of the field are they
They're
on?
whitetail.
Whitetail?
Yeah. I see 2 more.
Where at?
To the right, above the hay bales. Looks like they're bucks and they're sparring.
Really?
Yeah.
Anything big?
I have no idea. There's 6 or 7 deer out there by the field. I can tell 2 of them are bucks for sure because they're sparring, but I can't tell how big they are. All whitetails though.
How far is it?
I don't know. Let me look. About 3 miles. About 3 miles away.
You can tell that they're bucks then.
Well, mainly just because they were sparring.
Oh.
I mean, I can kind of see a little white, but if they weren't sparring, I really wouldn't know.
I see.
They look like they have decent sized bodies. Well, we've been watching these deer all morning, and they're all across the fence on a property we don't have permission on right now. There's quite a few of them. Most of them have disappeared, and some of them might have bedded down below a draw we can't see, so we're just gonna watch for a little while longer and then go back, tear down camp, and just drive over there and see if we can spot anything. Josh on gate duty today. Gonna go try to get permission on the property the deer went and we think they bedded on, so we'll see what happens.
Looks like the place.
I don't think so. Success! We got permission. So we're gonna head down there, see if we can relocate these deer. We don't know if they're bedded in the trees or out in the pasture. We're just gonna get over there, glass as much as we can, and try to find them in the last 5 hours of the hunt. Just pulled up to kind of the edge of this field, and there's 4 deer out there, at least 4 of them, feeding in the field right now. It's 12:45 in the afternoon. We're gonna get the spotter on them, see what they are, and go from there. There might be some more deer up and on their feet. We'll see. Well, it's kind of hard to tell from here, but looks like a doe and a fawn, small buck, and then maybe a 2-year-old buck, decent little buck, but nothing too big.
Verdict?
Go find a big deer. Go shoot a big deer. That's the game plan. There's 2 does and 2 fawns bedded on the fence line on the edge of the field, and another doe just came into the field out of the trees. There's a coyote down in that bottom. I saw it. He ran into the trees. Let's try to get to that end in case he pushes something. There's 2 fawns bedded out in the open and a buck and a doe by the fence line. A buck like this, yeah. Tell the people back home where I'm playing this. These 7 deer are out in the field. I'm gonna put my decoy on my bow. We're gonna try to slip up to the corner of this tree row. And if we can't do that because the deer are looking at us, we're gonna just try to slip under the fence and walk the tree row with the wind in our face and hopefully spot something, or maybe something will stand up out of its bed and look at the decoy and give me a shot. I think we should slip into the trees. Yeah, they're gonna see us unless we crawl all the way up there. this straight row, a lot of fresh tracks, but no deer. We're gonna work our way toward the windmill that we saw the deer water at this morning and see if there's anything bedded out in the pasture in the grass. We were here 6 hours ago. Pretty sure when these deer left the tank this morning, they headed kind of southeast and then got behind the hill where I couldn't see them and headed over to those trees that we just left. But they're not there now, so we're gonna go find them. I can still see about 5 of those deer that were out in the field a little while ago.
went up to these trees. We saw the deer go in here this morning and then they left, so we thought maybe they came back and bedded down, and we were right. There were 3 bucks in there. I saw the one, and another one stood up, and he looked right at us, but I had time to get my decoy set up on my bow, and he just kind of got comfortable with it. He was at 60 yards at first, and started slowly coming in, going downwind, and he got to about 30 yards before he hit our wind trail and took off. And then the little buck, smallest one, he just kind of didn't like the situation, so he left. But then the second biggest one came last. He probably got to about 20 yards, just came right in, and then he finally smelled us. But that was one of the coolest whitetail hunts I've been on. That was so awesome seeing him come in. That was intense. And we found the deer. I was smiling like that big when he was coming in. Like, I was so excited when he was coming in. I just love watching him. You'll have to kill something for it to be a successful hunt. Let's go up here and see if there's anything else. Maybe the big one was smart and stayed bedded. There's no more deer in here. I think that's all of them, because I counted 10 on this side of the water this morning, and we've seen 10 today. I don't know if they've been rubbing on those or eating them. Probably eating, that's my guess. Probably a little of both. Rubbing on them and eating them. You really can't see this spot from anywhere within. You can see it from 500 yards, but other than that, you can't see it at all unless you're about 3 miles away where we were this morning. They really have it all to themselves back here.
I counted at least 84 whitetail that we saw in the past 2.5 days right around this area that we're hunting. And I think we totaled 16 mule deer, so pretty good. Over 100 deer, I bet, in just 2.5 days in a spot we've really never hunted before, or at least I haven't, so it's been a pretty great trip. No shooters, no mature bucks, but a lot of deer. Today went about as good as it possibly could have. We started out on the other side of the river where we've never been before, hiked to a high hill, and pretty much immediately spotted these deer 3 miles out on the same property we could hunt. And we ended up jumping the fence onto a different property we didn't have permission on. We found that landowner's address, went to their house, asked for permission, and got permission for today, which is all we need because we're leaving tonight. So that was pretty awesome. We went in there, scouted around a lot, didn't really spook any deer, was able to get around the does and the one buck that were on the field and get around them without spooking them. Checked out a lot of good spots for sign, didn't see the deer, and then ended up getting close to those 3 bucks, put my decoy up and had the 2 bucks come into range. So that's about all you could ask for. Saw those deer 3 miles away. Like I said, we knew a couple of them were bucks and we just didn't know how big they were, so we got to bow range of the 2 biggest bucks. So that's about all you could ask for. They just weren't the caliber of deer, weren't the age of deer I was looking for. I was looking for a mature buck out here, and we just haven't seen that. But it was a really awesome experience regardless, having those deer come in and kind of just check out the decoy like that. They just didn't know what was going on. It was awesome. It was awesome. So beautiful sunset on our last day, and we're excited for next year.